What's going on, YouTubers? Ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, it's the Natural Born Gorilla, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from March 30th, 2021. They were in Nashville, Tennessee, as always, in the Skyway Studios, Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown as your commentators. So, we're gonna get to the show here, folks. The main part of the show was James Storm's 1000th match of Impact Wrestling, and a lot has happened on the show here too. Some side I like, some side I didn't like, and we're gonna get right into it, and you'll find out what the things that I like and I didn't like. I'll start off first with the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, Fire and Flavor, which is Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Havoc and Nevaeh. Non-title match. Match itself, it was decent, with the Tag Team Champions going over. Now again, it wasn't for the tag titles, but the tag champions ended up winning. Havoc took the pinfall, by the way. It was the Face the Music finisher that Kiera Hogan does, which is the Fisherman Neckbreaker into a bridge. Basically, a swinging Fisherman Neckbreaker. That's basically what it was. Into the bridge for the pin. And yeah, after the match though, Nevaeh was not happy about the loss, and they started, being forgiven for one another. Havoc turns her back, Nevaeh attacks her and beats her down and everything, and then Nevaeh walks away with this evil smile on her face. So that's the end of Havoc and Nevaeh, of them being a team, which I thought it was stupid. And it's gonna be more stupid once we get to more about it too, what tends to making no sense of this whatsoever later on. So but we'll get to that. But I did not like that. I did not like that because you got limited knockouts in Impact Wrestling. The last thing you need is to break up a women's tag, a knockouts tag team. So who you got now? Fire and Flavor. You got Jazz and Jordan Grace, Gian Prazo and Susan for now, because Kimberly is still hurt. But we'll get to more about this later on. But I digress again. But again, stupid move to do that. Jim Miller, she interviews James Storm heading into his 1000th match of Impact Wrestling, where he's going up against Eric Young. And alongside with him, he had Chris Sabin and Jake Something. Basically, James Storm dedicates his historic bout to his best friend, to the late Bob Ryder, who's been a big influence of Impact Wrestling / TNA. Says that without Ryder, he may not never wrestle his first match in Impact Wrestling, and James Storm was surprised by his appearance, appearance, better to say, a return of his former tag team partner, one half of America's Most Wanted, the Wildcat, Chris Harris, meant to say, excuse me. Sorry about that. Chris Harris. So they look at each other, and they, it was intense at first because, obviously the last time these two, were a thing, James Storm at one point did turn on his back on Chris Harris at the time, and then when Chris Harris returned to TNA at the time, while James Storm was being with his new tag team partner Bobby Roode, what tends to Beer Money, Chris Harris was a heel, and at that point Chris Harris was he gained weight and all that, and he was gone because he went to WWE. He was part of the Easter roster as what, Brandon Walker, something like that. This dumbass name that WWE came up for. Stupid. But they embraced after that. They hugged and everything. It was a good moment there. So yeah. James Storm's got a lot of backup of the Wildcat, Chris Harris, Chris Sabin, and Jake Something. And we'll get to that later on because that ends up being the main event of the show. We get Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo and Susan. One moment, folks. Okay, sorry about that, folks. I had to make sure that my eyes weren't deceiving me during that time while I was watching Impact Wrestling last week. pertains to, which probably I need to mention a little bit about that too, pertains to Impact Wrestling moving, but I'll get to that after I get to this. So, Deonna Purrazzo was up next, being interviewed along with Susan by Gia Miller, and obviously Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion, and she's in a different dress. I mean, I wouldn't call it dress. A clothing, I should say. The ones that she wore later on was a dress, but we'll get to that later. But she's in different clothing. So the first clothing we've seen of her was like some kind of pink blouse, I think it was, with I'm assuming it's supposed to be black leggings, whatever, or maybe black jeans, whatever. Who knows? But the point is, Deonna Purrazzo was dressed up differently. Now I'll get to what she was dressed up later on, and based on how that all made no sense either way, because I'll get to it when I get to it. Especially what had to happen with the suits and that's well here. So, as Deonna Purrazzo cut her promo and everything about what happened with Kimberly, I'm assuming that's what it was, and then also pertains to talking about Jazz. And Susan talks about what happened to Kimberly by the hands of Jazz was atrocious, being reckless and all that. And all of a sudden, Jazz comes out of nowhere and attacks Susan. Deonna Purrazzo just runs away, and Susan was taken out by Jazz afterwards, and that was pretty much it. And we'll get to more about what happened later on with that whole thing, because what they did here was fine, because I enjoyed Susan getting her ass kicked, but what they did later on made zero sense. But we'll get to that later. Before I move on, so let me talk about this. Impact Wrestling are moving on April 8th, which is going to be on my cousin's birthday. They're moving back on Thursdays because WWE NXT is going to be on Tuesdays now. I'm assuming after WrestleMania. I'm assuming it's going to happen around that time. But either way, there's going to be no more NXT on Wednesday nights anymore. I think because of the hockey games, not that, whatever. But basically, that pertains to NXT moving from Wednesdays to Tuesdays now. That's going to be the full-time move now. They're going to be now on the Tuesdays, which is good. Not saying pertains to saying that AEW won the war, because let's be honest, it was never a war to begin with. There was no a winning side either way, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only war that was to earn the ratings war. That's all that there was. Pertains to the demos and wherever have you and all that. That's basically what it was. And obviously AEW did win that one, but besides that, as far as a legit war and all that, no, there was no legit war of it whatsoever. There was no NXT guys jumping ships to AEW, and there's no AEW's jumping ships to NXT. It's not the wars that WCW and WF did were to win that wars. It doesn't compare to that. So there really was no a war to begin with, or intends to this whole Wednesday night war thing. Even though I've been trolling for that in a way too and all, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter at the end of the day. But that's beside the point. It's good that NXT is on the Tuesdays now, because they were getting slaughtered, and to be honest with you, NXT has not been the same ever since. Based off what I've been hearing, because I don't watch anymore. But even if I didn't watch anymore, I seen how it looked before I stopped watching. It has not been the same. NXT has not been doing well. I'm not saying every show sucks and everything. I'm pretty sure those shows were decent. But other than that, it's becoming like a Monday Night Raw. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's bad like a Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw is bad. It's atrocious of what I've been hearing. But then again, it's nothing new to me, because even if I don't watch, I always hear about bad things about Raw. Either way, and even when I was watching Raw, it's a bad show. So it's a good move for NXT being on Tuesdays. AEW is doing their things on Wednesdays. Is it gonna make a difference for their ratings on going up? I don't know. I can't tell you that. Only when it pertains to the ratings results comes out of it to see if there's any improvement of it. And on top of that, with TNT being strict to AEW now, no more surprises. Advertise, what you gotta advertise on AEW Dynamite. No more surprises of who's gonna show up, like the whole thing what they did with Sting and whatever have you. No more of that. Now, when it pertains to that whole thing with no more surprises, I'm still expecting AEW and Impact Wrestling to do their thing when it pertains to Impact Wrestling invading Dynamite. If you want to do that type of surprise, I'll let that be that type of surprise. But as far as someone being advertised on the show, that's one thing they don't want for AEW to do any more surprises. This is TNT's decision to tell AEW of that. And that being said, what's that got to do with mentioning that at all? Because as of this week, of what I heard, AEW announced that Mike Tyson is going to be appearing on Dynamite. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson is going to be on AEW Dynamite. Now, what's he going to be there for? I'm assuming he's going to be there because they still want to do this whole thing with Chris Jericho and Mike Tyson, but at the same time, how are you going to do that when Chris Jericho is now babyface? So what, Mike Tyson's going to be a heel now, sign along with the Pinnacle? You basically with the whole thing where maybe the Pinnacle call Mike Tyson to help, we'll pay you this money to help us out to take care of Chris Jericho in the inner circle. I don't know. I just don't know yet. But we'll see what happens with that. That's just my theory about what I think that's going to happen on the Dynamite show, but we'll see. But yeah, when it pertains to AEW, doing this on Wednesdays, solo show for pro wrestling, and not worrying about any competitions whatsoever. Just for the ratings, AEW now from now on has to let TNT know of who's gonna make these surprise, who's gonna make this an advertisement of an appearance of who's gonna show up. No more surprises at all, because they want their to get the ratings up. Basically TNT is being very restricted with this whole thing with AEW because they need the ratings so badly for AEW. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't care about it either ways. To me, when since AEW open a great show, or at least good show, I'm always gonna look forward to that to see if they do pull out a good to great show, or sometimes when it's a decent show. So now, as far as Impact Wrestling, we'll move back to Thursdays, by the way. That's basically the best way to do it, to avoid NXT, because if they would stay on Tuesdays, NXT would have definitely taken away a lot of the ratings for Impact Wrestling. Not that there was much of it to begin with, but still. But Thursday is a good place for Impact Wrestling either ways, because they always been on Thursdays no matter what. Even in the past when they were TNA Wrestling, so I'm glad they made the move there. And we'll see how they do on routines in Impact Wrestling on the Thursday nights. So that's all I gotta say for that. Now we can move on. Sami Callihan versus Larry D with AC Romero at ringside. Match itself, it was decent. Not much to say about the match other than Sami Callihan winning the match with the hanging, draping power driver and getting the win. After the match, AC Romero blindsides Sami Callihan, and they basically gets a beat down by him, and then Triple XL leaves. Sami Callihan was smiling and everything. Also, he I remember it was alright. It was right here. Okay, so basically, Sami Callihan, expecting Trey Miguel to return the favor after Sami Callihan saved him, because the whole thing, with what happened last time, Trey Miguel was being attacked by AC Romero and Larry D of Triple XL, and Sami Callihan for whatever reason saved his life. He basically saved him from the beatdown. And this week he's or into this episode, I should say, he wants Trey Miguel to return him that favor. I don't understand this at all. I don't get why they're doing this. I don't know what's the motive behind all this at all. Unless they want to pair them up as a tag team. I don't know what they're doing with this, but I don't know what they're planning on doing this afterward. But it's weird. You have Sami Callihan, now you're gonna have him being back up to being a babyface. I don't know. We have to wait and see how this continues. But I'll get to more of that in a little bit. But we get to the Impact World Tag Team Champions, Finjuice, competing at New Japan Pro Wrestling, basically showing highlights of them. Now, based on how they did this too, by the way, Impact Wrestling, and I'm talking about Impact Wrestling, I'm not talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not their fault. I blame Impact Wrestling for this, because Impact Wrestling, based on how they presented this footage that the Finjuice, the Impact World Tag Team Champions, wrestling in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they basically edited these footages of them acting like they're defending the tag team titles at New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is not true. How do I know? Because I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I watched Finjuice competing in tag team matches, but not for the tag titles though, obviously, because for one thing, Finjuice are teaming up with guys like Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toru Hanari, who is now called Aaron Hanari, which that's gonna be I'll be catching up all these New Japan reviews, which you'll find out more about that once I get to it. Some of you probably already know about that, because for those who watch New Japan, you already know about the whole deal with that whole thing. But not gonna talk too much about that. But still, the point is, they acting like Finjuice are defending the tag belts there, just based on how they're doing this. How they presented it, and that's not the case at all. Like, why would they do that? They're basically telling you that they're defending the tag team titles in Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not saying that that's how they said it, but how they presented it is to make you believe that you're defending the tag belts in Japan Pro Wrestling. I could be wrong, but that's just my theory of how they were being presented of it with the footage. But the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Don Callis were talking to the Good Brothers, and it tends to motivating them in their locker room, telling the Good Brothers that they haven't been themselves since losing the tag belts to Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson, and shares a secret with the Good Brothers, and whatever it was, it had the entire group excited in a way, and that was it. Not much to say about that. So, Sami Callihan confronts Trey Miguel, or attempts to him continue to play mind games, and grabs a seat and tells Trey Miguel that he's seeking a tag team match, picturing himself and Trey Miguel against Triple XL, and Sami Callihan's goal is to mentor Trey Miguel, teach him to harness his anger. We'll see how that turns out. Will Trey Miguel accept the invitation? I don't know. We have to find out on the next edition of Impact Wrestling, which I haven't gotten to that yet, so because it's not Thursday yet. So. Brian Myers versus Suicide. Brian Myers wins. Moving on. Oh yeah. After the match, Brian Myers cuts a promo to Matt Cardona about his challenge, and Brian Myers says that he see right through Matt Cardona and turns down the challenge. Calls himself the franchise of Impact Wrestling. Please. Despite their long history, Matt Cardona isn't included in that, and that was it. So not much to say about that. So as soon as he said, the franchise of Impact Wrestling, you lost me there. Tommy Dreamer, he grants Jazz a knockout title opportunity against General Perasso at Hardcore Justice. However, Tommy Dreamer suggests that Jazz must also put something on the line too. Pertains to mentioning the match that they had back in the days of ECW. I've already forgotten the name of it. Pertains to that special type of match stipulation where General Perasso has to put her belt on the line, but Jazz got to put her career on the line, and Jazz doesn't care to put her career on the line because she wants another crack at General Perasso. So Tommy Dreamer is in shock that are you sure you want this? That? And Jazz is like, yes, I do want this. So yeah, it's gonna happen. Now, I'll get to my predictions of it, but I gotta get to Thursdays first too, by the way, because first I need to get this done, and then I gotta get to Impact Wrestling on the Thursdays, and I can do a review of that one, and then we could get to Hardcore Justice. So But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say from there. AEW owner Tony Khan and AEW commentator Tony Schiavone returned for another paid advertisement for the Wednesday Night Dynamite, where it's promoting the Arcade Anarchy, which I'll get to that when I get to that review to catch up of that one for AEW. Also advertising Kenny Omega, who's the AEW World Champion, teamed up with the Good Brothers, going up against the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid, plus more. And yeah, I'm gonna say, Don Callis and Kenny Omega, they visit the Swingers Palace, where Don Callis places $2,000 bet on Ruthless Kenny Omega defeating Rich Swann for the in the winner take all for this title match at Rebellion. So yeah, it's been all said and done and all that, and yeah, I'm gonna say about that. There you go. Yeah, it was a short segment of Swingers Palace. So the best thing that's going on for Impact Wrestling right now, besides working a few matches that I care for, is that segment of Swingers Palace, because that's very entertaining. X-Division Champion Ace Austin and Batman Fulton versus TJP and Josh Alexander in the tag team match, where TJP and Josh Alexander was now working together as a coherent tag team, and it cost them. Now the match itself was decent, but yeah, like I said, it cost them, with Ace Austin getting the win over on TJP with a distraction roll up, and that was it. Don Callis, he attempts to get in the head of Rich Swann once again. This time with Mac there, and the Impact World Champion interrupts and challenges Don Callis to a fight. And Don Callis is like, okay, you want to fight? Okay, let's fight. Then Rich Swann gets jumped on out of nowhere by Kenny Omega from the back, and then Mac comes, gets in to help, and then the Good Brothers gets in and basically the Numbers Gang, and then who comes in? Eddie fucking Edwards. Are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, the Good Brothers and Omega and Callis retreats because Eddie Edwards showed up, because that now all of a sudden they're afraid of Eddie Edwards. I guess they were worried that he'll murder them, like he's going to try to murder like he was going to murder Sammy Callahan back in what year that was again? 2018. Yeah, it was 2018 actually. They showed earlier that they were hold on, so let me see this again. Okay, so they showed what happened on before the Impact. Falaba and Shira were a tag team against Rajul and Hernandez. Yeah, look, take a look at that pair, right? Basically, it was the Indian Latin exchange, which that was an idea from Rajul, which is to team up with Hernandez, because he didn't want to be, apparently he wants to be a tag team with Hernandez. But anyways, but they beat her, Falaba and Shira. So yeah, so much for Shira coming back, by the way, folks. I knew that was not gonna go anywhere, because Shira's garbage. He's fucking trash. But anyways, Rajul, that's when he to this show itself, to Hernandez, to call himself the Indian Latin Exchange. And Hernandez shut that down, and then basically tells him to leave before he beats him up, whatever. And he basically he receives more money and blah 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 and all that. And there you go. Not much to say about that. So that pair is over. So Eric Young, he previews his match against James Storm. Says that after 1,000 matches, James Storm too far gone and cannot be saved by design. Says that Eric Young, he vows to show that James Storm, this world doesn't belong to him. It belongs to the Violent by Design. And there you go. Good promo, by the way, for Eric Young. Tommy Dreamer announces a women's multi-knockout scramble match, I should say. And it's going to be at Hardcore Justice. And this is where I said this made no sense here. So, earlier tonight, on that night, I should say, Havoc and Nevaeh broke up as a tag team. Nevaeh attacked, Havoc betraying her, and then leaves her in the ring, and Nevaeh is now on her own, and Havoc was knocked out in the ring and everything. All of a sudden, she's right there, like nothing happened with Nevaeh attacking her and all that, betraying her. Nevaeh wasn't there either, by the way, but it was just Havoc in there. And like himself, what the fuck is this? Like, Havoc is not upset that she never could try to find Nevaeh. She's backstage, hanging out with Tommy Dreamer and the rest of the knockouts, pertains to build up this match for Hardcore Justice, or pertains to these knockouts scramble match. Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck wrote this? Who the fuck thought that was a fucking good idea to have Havoc there after she got betrayed by her BFF in Nevaeh? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who fucking booked that shit? And make matters worse, Deonna Purrazzo was. Remember I talked about she was in the different clothing. In this segment, she was in the red dress. Huh? And on top of that, Susan was there too. Remember earlier? She got attacked by Jazz. Jazz took her out. And now she's there and she's fine? And Tommy Dreamer was trying to talk to Susan, as Deonna Purrazzo was walking away, by the way, to unleash Sue Young. And then she started acting all crazy and everything, and they're like, oh my god, are we gonna get Sue Young back? And all of a sudden Deonna Purrazzo was like, Susan! And then, oh, I'm coming. And like, well, so much for that. This was the most awkward, most garbage, most trash ass segment I've ever seen in my fucking entire life. And I've seen some worse ones before. Yeah, Jordan Grace, I don't remember how she did it or how she acted. And then you had Tina Dashwood acting all excited with Kid with a K. And then of all people had to be annoying in this one, Alicia Edwards getting close to Tommy Dreamer, and then they cough after that. Oh, I think you had the Knockouts champions too, by the way, there as well. I can't remember if they were or not, but this was trash. Garbage. And basically, all the weapons will be legal, by the way. So, alright, main event time. This one I was excited for the most. It was James Storm versus Eric Young. Eric Young being covered by the signs of Joe Doring, Diener, and Rhino. As James Storm is being covered by guys like Chris Sabin, Jake Something, and Wildcat Chris Harris. And James Storm's 1000th match. And the match was good, obviously, because you have two veterans in, well, just Impact Wrestling veterans, I should say, in James Storm, Cowboy James Storm, and the World Class Maniac Eric Young, and they haven't added. And then we got some chaos along with it too, by the way, which is outside fights brawl, I should say. And in the end, it was James Storm going for the last call super kick, and gets the win over Eric Young. So James Storm gets the win of his 1000th match, which no surprise there, he's going to win. But I was expecting to see, I thought we could see Chris Harris turn his back on James Storm in this match, but no, that's not the case at all. He actually helped James Storm when he attacked Eric Young when Eric Young trying to use his mask as a weapon. So in a way, James Storm got the win, and rightfully so, because this is 1000th match. The last thing you want him to do is his 1000th match is have him lose. So I'm glad they didn't do that. And that was the show, folks. And that will conclude your Impact Wrestling review from March 30th, 2021. 5 matches worth of Toma Wrestling. And my overall rating for this show, I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10. A very good, decent show, to say the least. And that being said, thank you all for watching. For It's Natural Born Gorilla saying peace on the streets. You all take care.